Whew. Tony East here in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So the Pacers win a game against the Wizards. That was something. That was a basketball game, one of the ones I've ever seen. It felt like watching the NCAA Tournament Finals all over again. I covered the Pacers for Forbes and Locked On Pacers, and the Pacers just beat the Wizards. The final score was 104-98. Hideous game. For some context on that joke I just made, the Pacers shot 37.9% in this game. That's worse than Florida shot in the championship game and barely better than Houston. Both of those teams shot worse than 40%. They shot 25.7% from deep, barely better than Florida, barely better than Houston. Those two teams had terrible offensive games, and so did the Pacers today. They took forever to get rolling in this game. In fact, that 37.9% shooting, their lowest of the season. Pacers previously winless, shooting below 40%. We'll talk about the reasons they were able to overcome that later, but their offense was gross for much of this game. They made one of their first 18 threes, a corner three from Pascal Siakam. That was killer for the Pacers. The Wizards started 3 for 3 and then got cold from deep. Regardless, I've said a lot of gobbledygook numbers at you to say the Pacers offense looked really rough for almost all of this game. It took them a lot to get out of their own way and get it done. Just looking at their quarter-by-quarter breakdown, 21 in the first, 27 in the second, 24 in the third. Those are not Pacers-y numbers. They're usually closer to 30 almost every quarter of a game. That was what happened in the fourth quarter, 32 in the fourth for the Pacers, their best offensive output of the game, and it could not have come at a better time, and it came from the guys who had been steering them all night. But Tyrese Haliburton was exceptional in the fourth quarter, 4 free throws and 2 threes on his way to 10 points and 2 assists. In that frame, he finally got rolling just in time for the Pacers. The threes in particular were huge late. They really needed it. Miles Turner, who was good all game, hit a big 3 in the final quarter, and Pascal Siakam, who was the Pacers' best player, I thought, in this game, made both of his shots in the final period, and that's how the Pacers got enough points to get it done because they couldn't get anything going, right? Outside of Siakam, who scored the Pacers' first 6 points, looked like he had a lot of matchup advantages. He had 24 and 10, and at times Benedict Mathurin, he was great in the first half on his way to 17 points. They just never had consistent offense that they could really turn to possession until finally their stars were rolling in the fourth quarter to get it done, and the shooting came alive. 8 of their last 17 threes dropped in this game. That turnaround was really this whole game. I saw a lot of belly aching, complaining from fans online about effort, the Pacers' effort in this game, and I truly didn't think it was an effort issue. I mean, not that they were playing like super crisp or awesome or so focused, but you can, when it's effort, you can tell so much by body language, right? And the Pacers benched their starters in their 2 worst effort games this season against Miami and in Chicago. I was at both those games. I didn't see that in this one. They were actually frustrated with the results of their play and couldn't break out of it. But finally, once the shots went in, you could tell the vibe shifted a little bit, and they started to play much more focused and much better basketball. 8-man rotation in much of the second half. No Jarris Walker, no Johnny Furphy. I don't think Thomas Bryant played in the second half. Just a lot for the Pacers to overcome. But this was not an effort loss. This was a couldn't make a shot game, and they overcame it to win by finally, you guessed it, making some shots. They did defend decently. They struggled with Alex Sarr, who was very good, especially from inside the arc. He was 7 for 11 on 2s. Jordan Poole got going a little bit. Justin Champagnie was hitting his 3s. But they were okay on defense. The Wizards only scored 98 points throughout this game. The Pacers couldn't make anything. It took them forever to get any sort of grip on the action and looked like they were the threatening team. In fact, if you looked at the game chart that has the lead tracker, you will see the Pacers were behind for almost all the game. They led for 1 possession in the first half and did not lead again until the fourth quarter. Were trailing late but found enough ways to get it done for win number 48. And it's remarkable to win with that poor of a shooting percentage. It's the first time the Pacers have done it this season, just the 44th time in franchise history to win shooting that bad. In a game, 200 losses, shooting below 38%, 44 wins. It's tough, right? It is tough to overcome that. And in some ways, that is the story of their game, is that with 1 for 7 from Nembhard and 4 for 13 from Turner and 2 for 6 from Nesmith, guys who all of late have had big games. Nembhard just recently against Denver, Turner all last week. Nesmith's been rock solid of late. They combined to shoot 7 of 26. That's killer. Even Haliburton was sub 50% from the field. In fact, the only other player besides Siakam, who made half their shots or more, was Thomas Bryant, who was 1 for 2, right? Terrible offensive night for the Pacers, but they found just enough on defense. They took care of the ball, and the biggest thing they did well in this game was they got to the foul line. The Wizards were not playing very disciplined defense. They fouled like crazy. 27 fouls committed by the Washington Wizards in this game, which is, I believe, the highest the Pacers have. Yes, the highest the Pacers have had for an opponent all season by 1 over the previous high of 26, obviously. And that let the Pacers live at the line. 37 free throw attempts for the Pacers in this game, which also very much nears their season high. It's 1 shy. It actually came last week against Utah, and that's where the Pacers got a bunch of their points. 29 made free throws in this game, 9 from Halliburton, 5 from Miles Turner, 6 from Mathurin is huge. Just Halliburton nearly equaled the entire Wizards team at the foul line. That's where the Pacers were able to get just enough efficiency on offense, was those free throws. A big free throw night for the Pacers, and they get it done. They overcome an ugly, ugly game. Another reason they got it done, the Wizards just kind of gave up. I don't even mean that in too much jest. They truly looked like in the fourth quarter they were not putting their best foot forward, and I hate to say this because this is the way the NBA is. Who can blame them, right? It's the setup the league has told them to incentivize with the draft lottery this way. Alex Sarr was playing very well, right? He was plus 16 in this game. Jordan Poole, plus 13. He was playing pretty well throughout this game. Justin Champagnie was plus 3. He was making shots. They barely closed with any of their best players. Keyshawn George was not in the game late. Instead on the floor was Colby Jones, who was minus 19, A.J. Johnson, who had some nice plays late, but was minus 21, J.T. Thor, who was minus 30 in this one. Those were the guys that were on the floor late, and I get why. But I think if Sarr or Poole were in the game in the fourth quarter for any amount of time, this might actually have been a loss for the Pacers. Those two guys were playing that well. Fourth quarter minutes for the Wizards. Sarr plays 5:43. Poole plays nothing in that quarter. J.T. Thor, Bob Carrington, and Colby Jones played the entire fourth quarter as the Wizards get what they want results-wise, but just a weird NBA reality. And that helped the Pacers come back. Those guys that were on the floor for Washington were not having, let's say, strong shooting games. In fact, between Colby Jones, A.J. Johnson, and J.T. Thor, 3 guys who played a lot in the fourth quarter, they finished this game at combined 6 for 19. You add in Bob Carrington, who was 5 for 19. You get 11 for 38. That helped the Pacers close this game, certainly. So did the free throws. Look, they'll take the result this close to the end of the season. Pacers now magic number is 1 for home court advantage in the first round after the Bucks roared back against a Minnesota Timberwolves collapse tonight. Pacers could have clinched home court as soon as today. The Knicks lost, so technically the Pacers are still alive for the 3 seed. So much more to discuss as their season seeding keeps going, but any one win by the Knicks or loss by the Pacers will mean the Pacers cannot get the 3 seed anymore, and any one win by the Pacers or loss by the Bucks means the Pacers could not be the 5 seed anymore. So if the Pacers win their next game, they could control whatever they want. They could lose on purpose, air quotes, as we saw the Wizards do tonight, or do whatever they want to get the seed that they desire, but they need one more win first, 2 more against the Cavs, and 1 more against the Magic this season, 2 of them coming on a back-to-back right here in this building. Pacers will try to stay healthy. Tyrese Halliburton looked like he hurt his back going into halftime, played the rest of the game, but said he was bleeding from court burn. That's the type of stuff you're trying to avoid at this stage of the season, but a win for the Pacers, they're so close to locking up home court advantage in the first round. We'll have much more breakdown of this game and the Pacers seeding reality on Locked On Pacers.